Hey there, how's it going, y'all? We're over here at Louisville Armory shooting range out here in glorious and beautiful Louisville, Kentucky. We're going to be test firing the Mossberg 590 special purpose that I put some of the furniture from the 500 on, and I traded the 500 plus a little bit of cash for the 590, put all the furniture on it because I wanted to have 9 capacity instead of 6 capacity, and I also like the metal trigger guard. And we're also going to be testing out the Rock Island Baby Rock. Alright, now let's see how the Mossberg 590 does. Now what we're doing is we're testing out the chainsaw grip, and I also put a standard vertical foregrip from Magpul on here to see the difference between one versus the other. I want to see how it feels, you know, left-handing it over the top of the barrel and under the barrel to see how the physics works with the recoil. We're also testing out the light and the leather sling that I made, the single point, to see if pushing against that helps. Now we have some Remington, I believe it is law enforcement reduced recoil double-aught buck, and also some Winchester 12 gauge double-aught buck, both 2 3/4. I actually put 50 rounds of Aguila 380 ACP through the Rock Island last week, and it shot fine. It only failed to feed on the second round after I had 7 in 1 because I didn't push the magazine all the way in after chambering a round. So that was definitely a human error for that one. This time I'll be shooting some Fiocchi 380. It was $14 at this mom and pop shop out here, and I wanted to see how it was. Well, it looks like you definitely get what you pay for, because this thing has failed to feed once or twice a magazine. Alright, so that was a pretty interesting day at the range. Learned a lot, and it definitely seems like you get what you pay for. Now the firearms worked great. The 590, I was, you know, expecting there to be some issues feeding, but I guess they handled that issue a few years ago. There had been a problem with the 590s not feeding from the magazine tube, but I didn't have a single failure. Now with the Baby Rock 380, it was a different story, and I'd have to say it was probably because of the cheap ammunition I was using. I noticed that the crimp behind the bullet actually created a bevel. There was a bevel behind the bullet on the casing, where it showed how deep the bullet was fit into it. And I was wondering about that. Didn't think it was going to be an issue, but I wasn't sure, and lo and behold, had problems feeding. I picked up 10 unfed, unfired bullets when I was cleaning my lane at the end. Always clean your lane. And you know, 10 out of 50, that's 1 in 5. I would not trust my life to it. Now, 1911s are often made with very high tolerances, I guess is what they call it, or there's, you know, very minimal space. Everything fits really precisely in 1911s, and the Baby Rock 380 is just a scaled down 1911. Now, this is still the break-in period. It says a 500 round break-in period, so that's like, what, 10 cases of 50? And I'm only 100 rounds in, and I've had 10, technically 11 misfeeds. Now, I would definitely have to put that on the ammunition. So you get what you pay for. I'm gonna be sticking with Aguila from now on, and I seem to also be shooting a little bit more accurately with the Aguila, but I don't know what that is. I was probably getting psyched out by the misfeeds. I was thinking about that. Now, when I was shooting the 590 with the sling worked exactly as intended. I was able to aim over the top of the barrel, use the bead sight and everything with the physical geometry of having a stock, which was really, really great. And I had it on when I was shooting, you know, from the torso with the chainsaw grip and with the vertical foregrip. Now, I wasn't really able to tell the difference between shooting with the vertical foregrip versus the chainsaw grip. Obviously, it was easier to, you know, aim over the top of the barrel with the vertical foregrip, which I think would work really well for skeet, which is what I was hoping for. And the chainsaw grip, it worked fine. I was able to rack it and shoot it, and it worked just as intended. Now, I did have a problem with the cheapy light that I bought, and that was a really big issue. I was 15, what did I have? I think I had 15 rounds plus the 3 police recoil, and that thing rattled off like 10 rounds in. So that was kind of disappointing, but you know, overall it was a good shooting experience. Yeah, that's about it. I just wanted to thank Louisville Armory for having me, and Rainbow Optics for these super chill eyes. As always, practice safe and responsible firearms ownership.